Hey, so I recently took the StrengthsQuest test, and I just wanted to create a reflection video on it, just kind of my thoughts and I guess where I'm at right now. So the first question is, which strengths themes feels like it fits you the best? Which one surprised me and why? Um, I feel like all of them fit me really, really well, especially what was it called? Ideation. Just because I'm not the strongest essay writer, but in terms of communication and kind of the structure of it. But when I do write an essay, I like to think very deeply about it and kind of draw connections from different concepts and ideas, and I try to communicate to the audience. Like I said, my communication skills in terms of essay writing aren't the strongest, so most of the time, the ideas either get a little too confusing or seem a little too thoughtful for the reader to comprehend. And then maximizer, um, I find myself usually being the one doing a lot of the work and also trying to push the people in my, let's say, group project, um, to get stuff done. Also, just kind of encouraging the group and also like I guess pushing them to get it done on time and also do as much as they can do. Group projects, sometimes it's very hard to figure out who does what and make sure everyone has a fair amount of work. Um, some people are willing to sacrifice themselves and do more work, and vice versa. And then to individualization, I I personally feel like I like to be independent from other people, and I also like to see each person. I guess even in my friends group, I feel like I, and this is a good thing and a bad thing. I put them in kind of a category and a role. Say, oh, their strengths and weaknesses is this, so they're like the jokester, or their strengths and weaknesses are this, and they're the leader, or so on and so forth. And even if I don't put them in a role, I try to like figure out whose strengths and weaknesses and what they have, just to know how to navigate like communication with them, and just kind of if there's some things in them that I should avoid, that might be unhealthy for affecting myself or affecting the people around me. I also like to see how people work and see, oh, I think that that person will be very good, kind of will work well with either me or just work well with um, someone I know, especially in the group setting. Empathy. Empathy is something that I really battle with. I not battle with, but something that's been on my mind. I feel like I am empathetic in the sense that I put myself in other people's shoes. Just say, oh, if I were to experience that, I wouldn't want to do that. But I also feel like sometimes I'm very insensitive, and that I don't care about other people's feelings, and I think it's a balance of 50-50. So I think if I were to be surprised by one of them, it would either be empathy or ideation. Just because, like I said, sometimes I'm not empathetic. Sometimes I really don't care about a person's feelings, um, and that can be dangerous, especially in kind of social groups, to the point where I burn a bridge or a relationship with a friend, because I'm insensitive. And then woo. Woo is my first one. Woo, I think I like to get to know people. I like to get to know people, um, especially kind of on a deeper level, on a level where I can kind of connect with them and just find common ground, and also find their interests, take interest in their interests, so that I can gain a better relationship with them. Um, Next question is, where are you most frequently using your strengths themes? In what areas, roles, and responsibilities? I think I mentioned it. I think a huge part of my life is just kind of friends and just social groups. Um, because I do think a lot about social interactions, reflect on what I did, what I could have done wrong, or what I did wrong, and what I could do better next time. So definitely all of those strengths I could use in a social setting, and that's the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of woo: empathy, individualization, ideation, maximizer. It's all related to like relational, um, with people, and just not in like a business setting where I'm a manager or whatever. It's more of like a pure level, like I'm your friend, you're my friend, and something like that, or classmates, I guess. Um, it just building relationships. I really think I should have had a relation, I believe, was it, on my strengths, but I guess, yeah. Third question is, where do you see your strengths themes in your spiritual life slash relationship with God? Um, so, like I mentioned in kind of my friends group, it's not it's not necessarily where I see my strengths. It's more I see these strengths as something that I'm strong in, but not always in a positive way. For example, I've had a recent fallout with a friend over friend that I've been with over quarantine, so about a year and a half now, and we were super tight, and our relationship just kind of disappeared, just because um, I realized that they're rubbing off on me, and some of the things that they rubbed off on me, I didn't want. For example, hurting people. I I'm very relational, and I don't like to hurt people's feelings. Um, and that was just something I was not okay with. And I really battled because I really wanted to be their friend, and I really wanted to hang out with them really closely, and so on and so forth. But I had to kind of hold back and hold back all these strengths, and just kind of be more reserved. And I guess the question is, where does God come in all this? And God, I I felt like I lost a friend, and it hurt me a lot. But I was able to look to God and realize that God is my friend. But He is constant, and He's not changing. I will never lose Him, nor will He reject me or whatever. Um, and like I said, when it comes to kind of relations, I really overthink and think a lot about kind of relationships and stuff like that. So if someone rubs me the wrong way, I'll overthink and say, oh, they don't like me anymore. Um, and I've learned to kind of take every thought captive and be above reproach. Say, oh, is this really what they could have meant? What does the Bible have to say about this social interaction, this kind of relationship? And just refer constantly back to God. And when I don't feel like reading His Word, I just talk to Him. I just say, hey God, this is what's going on. I ask for your help. I ask for you to work through me, to grow me to be someone who will be a light to that person, even if I don't want to be a light to that person. So where do these strengths come in? It's just balance all these strengths between, sometimes it's more prominent, sometimes I'm overthinking it, and just remembering who God is and that God is in control. So it's not necessarily any specific one, it's just all of them I have to reserve, and I have to let God kind of take over instead of using my own strength to figure it out. So I guess that was my reflection on kind of my strengths, and yeah, I can't wait to kind of dwell more into different strengths and kind of how they work, and figure more about myself to kind of understand who God made me to be and where my vocation is. Thank you.